Flex Cop, how are you, mate? Welcome to On the Line with DJ Insider.
Good, man. Thanks for having me on. Hey, looking forward to some chats.
Yeah, mate. Want to start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
Yeah, cool, man. Brisbane, born and raised. So, yeah, grew up here and about an hour out of town, like the small town called Cleveland. And yeah, man, just been writing music for about. Uh, I started while I was at uni, so that goes back like 8 years ago, and I was just dabbling around, doing a bit of like on Fruity Loops just on the side, and it was just playing around in my spare time. And then, I did the few little ideas I had sort of started turning into songs, and then you start showing your mates, and they're like, "Yeah, cool, you should keep at it." And yeah, and then then the whole time it just got more and more serious, and I think it was about 2012. I was like, okay, this is what I want to do, basically, and just yeah, just committed to it. Just changed the direction that my life was going. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna commit to music, and yeah, I actually hadn't played any gigs or anything by that time, so I'd been like writing music for a while. I'd signed a few releases, and then I only started DJing maybe like 2 years ago.
Who was your first musical influences?
Oh man, hard question. I think like one of the first bands I was really obsessed with was Massive Attack, and that probably worked out pretty nicely because I was into like a lot of well, probably later on I got into like a lot of hip hop, and I guess they're sort of like very like all the trip hop scene was like really influenced by hip hop as well. So yeah, Massive Attack was huge for me, and then yeah, I had a big hip hop phase as well, and then when Chemical Brothers came out, they were probably like probably my biggest influence ever, because that was just like the biggest, just the best combination of like your electronic stuff, your hip hop, and then like your breakbeat was a massive thing for me. So pretty much went to every show they ever did. So like Big Day Arts and like any other shows they played, I pretty much saw them at all the future musics. So yeah, they're massive for me, Chemical Brothers.
You've got a new EP out on One Love. Tell us a bit about that and your relationship with the label.
Yeah, cool. Well, that was hooked up through Mike, who's obviously my agent, and he like agent/manager, and he's good mates with Ant from One Love, and I'd released Placebo. That was my first release with One Love, and that went really well, and Ant really liked it, and all the guys got really behind it, and Frank Catania, he got really behind it as well. And I just finished Cursed, just the single, and I sent it to Mike, and he just rang me up. He's like, "Man, I fucking love it." And he's I think he was with Ant at the time, and he's played it to Ant, and Ant's gone, "Listen, man, we want that release, like we want that on One Love." And so yeah, it worked. Yeah, so it just sort of started from there, and then we turned the track from like the single, because I've got that vocalist Michael O featuring on it. Yeah, because I worked so well with him, even though it was all done remotely, but he just really understood where I was headed with that EP, and so yeah, just wrote 2 more tracks with him, and yeah, he kills it on all the tracks, and yeah, and then that came out, and so that was supposed to come out probably at the start of this year, and we ended up pushing the other single with him, Domino. That was like another track I had kicking around.
Can you tell us what kit you've got in the studio? What's your most valuable piece of kit?
Hands down, studio monitors.
Studio monitors. Well, what have you got?
Event Opals. Did a lot of research. Yeah,
yes, yeah. Very, very good.
It's always been my number one preference. Like, get the sound right, and the rest will sort itself out. So I've got mates who've got like tens of thousands of dollars worth of analog, but they're running on like shitty studio monitors, which kind of seems like a huge bottleneck. But the prized possession is this M Audio. I think it's called an Oxygen 88. So it's a 88 key keyboard.
Yeah.
And it's proper hammer weighted, so it like feels like a grand piano. I was never really a good pianist, but I sort of always grew up with this grand upright piano that my grandparents gave us. So I used to play around on that, and I just love the feel of like a real piano. So yeah, so that is probably like the best thing for me. And then It's just good to have 88 keys in front of you because because when you're like playing around with like especially like synths and stuff, like a lot of the time like a synth that might be like a bass synth might sound actually really cool if you play it like four octaves up, and you don't necessarily always try that if you've got like a small keyboard in front of you and you've got to like press the octave up button 3 times to see what it sounds like up there. So just having 88 keys, like normally I'll just bring up like a synth patch, press right up the top, right at the bottom, see how it sounds, and you can get like something that might be like I don't know, like a pad sound. If you play that really low, that could work out to be an awesome bass or a drone or some shit like that. So like it's just good to have like that, the full key range in front of you.
Do you have anything coming up? Any new tracks you can tell us about?
Yeah, there's definitely some tracks coming out that I've actually been playing for a while now, but I've just been meaning to finish them. So it's definitely going to be a lot darker. I think I'm going back to the if you've heard Dangerous, the track I did with Carrie Golden, it's gone definitely back that way, sort of a little bit, that romantic techno style that, everyone's into it right now. I've always been a big fan of Frankie Sandrino since they released Save and all that, and so obviously they've got that Akama track, which is just killing it, and that's a huge sort of sound for me. And
what about gigs? Do you have any gigs coming up over the summer here?
I dare say Revolver will be on the cards pretty soon because it's been too long between Revolver sessions for me. So I've got to check. Are
you a fan of Revolver then? Like everybody?
Yeah. How could you not be, man?
Yeah,
it's just
such a club.
It's one of those places. I mean, everyone says it, but just you can't describe it. Words don't do it justice. You just have to go there and and just experience it. I mean, I still remember the funniest thing. It was just like eye-opening for me because like everything shuts at 5 o'clock here at the latest in Brisbane. So I was down there doing a set, and I think I started at something like 4 o'clock in the main room. And like obviously like they've got like I think the blinds there are shut or whatever, but like sunlight still comes in.
Yeah.
And I just remember I was just playing this track, and then everyone sort of gets caught up in the music. But I played this track with this big breakdown, and you could just sort of notice everyone sort of like look around for a bit. And you can just go see like everyone notices, oh, the sun's up. So then everyone like reaches into their bags, and everyone's got their sunnies with them. So everyone chucks their sunnies on, and then like when the break just drops, and everyone just gets back into it. So you can just tell a lot of people are regulars there. They all come prepared.
That's magic. All right, mate. Well, let's wrap this up. I want to ask you one more question, and it's what is your go-to track or your All Else Fails track that you would play?
Okay, yeah, it's actually a mashup I've done.
Okay.
It's of 16-bit Leaders, Murder Weapon. This is one of their tracks from, I think it's like 5 years ago, and I've dubbed over Sweet Disposition, and it's just fucking magic.
Great.
And
hey,
it's crazy.
Where can we hear that?
You can't. You have to come to one of my shows, man.
All right. Is it on any of your sets? Anything?
I don't think I actually include any of my sets just for that reason.
You're teasing us now, like.
Yeah. I played it at Strawberry Fields. That was probably one of my other highlights. Playing that at Strawberry Fields last year, and just seeing everyone go nuts because the track is such a good track on its own. But then, and I think a lot of people still remember it. And it's just during the breakdown that you first hear the vocal come in, and everyone just sort of flips out when they realize what's going on. And yeah, it's pretty hard to top that feeling.
All right, well, we'll look forward to hearing it in the future.
Yeah, you have to come to one of my sets, man.
All right, okay, Flex Cop, thanks for joining us On the Line with DJ Insider.
Yeah, cool, thanks.
See ya.